You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about the North Carolina Tar Heels returning to the Dean Dome to take on the SMU Mustangs in another very important ACC matchup for the Heels, man. But before we get into the intricate details of this game, obviously I got to shout out the Huddle Hooligans, man. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for helping me keep the lights on. And we will be having a live reaction and watch party at 9 p.m. on January 7th. So come hang out with your favorite North Carolinian as we see if the Heels can properly introduce the Mustangs to Tobacco Road. And as we always do, we'll first look at the updated ACC rankings going into this game, man. Unfortunately, still at the top, bro. Number 4, Puke and Clemson. They're at the top at 4-0. Pitt is 3-0. Wake and Louisville are at 3-1. SMU and Carolina are at 2-1. Georgia Tech is 2-2. UVA, the Wolves, SAC. Florida State, Stanford, Notre Dame, and Virginia Tech are 1-2. BC is at 1-3. Cal, Syracuse, and Miami bring up the rear and are currently at 0-3. January 7th games include Pitt at Duke, Georgia Tech at Syracuse, Clemson at Louisville, and of course, SMU at Carolina. Now, go ahead and buckle up, man. Here we go. The Stangs are coming off of an 89-62 beatdown at the hands of the Puke Blue Devils out in Dallas, man. So Carolina obviously needs to also welcome them to the ACC in proper fashion. The SMU Mustangs are led by head coach Andy Enfield, who has a 272-178 overall record with previous stops at USC and Florida Gulf Coast, and he's obviously 11-3 right now in his first year at SMU. Now, the Mustangs' leading scorer and assist man is the 6', 175-pound guard, Boopy Miller, who's averaging 15.8 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. He's shooting 42.4% from the floor and 31% from three. The Stangs' leading rebounder is a 6'7", 230-pound senior forward, Matt Cross, who is averaging 8.2 boards, 10.7 points, and 1.9 assists. He's shooting 49.5% from the floor and 37.8% from beyond the arc. Now, the Heels are coming off of a 74-73 barn burner against Notre Dame, where the man, Captain Jack himself, Ian Jackson, scored 20-plus points for his fourth straight game, man. And then EC made the biggest shot of his career by knocking down a 3-ball with contact. And then, to put a cherry on top, he sank the free throw to put Carolina on top by 1, which would prove to be the winning points for the Heels. Now, the Heels are led by head coach Hubert Davis, who is 87-37 with a winning percentage of .702 in his fourth season at Carolina. The Heels' leading scorer is a 6', 180-pound senior guard, R.J. Davis, who is averaging 17.7 points per game. He's shooting 37.6% from the field and only 26.8% from three. And RJ is kind of taking that number 2 spot right now, scoring-wise, in the last couple of games to Ian Jackson. Now, Carolina's leading rebounder is a 6'10", 235-pound junior forward, Jalen Washington, who is averaging 4.9 rebounds along with 6.3 points per game. And Carolina's leading facilitator is a 6'1", 180-pound sophomore point guard, Elliot Cadeau, who's averaging 6.1 assists per game compared to 3.1 turnovers, which is almost back to a 2-to-1 turnover to assist ratio, which is obviously the bare minimum standard for your boy. Now, EC's also averaging 10.7 points per game and 3.1 rebounds, and he's shooting 44.4% from the floor and 26.8% from three, man. So let's look at the team statistics real quick. And we can see that the Stangs are averaging 85.4 points per game compared to Carolina's 84.6 points per game. SMU is giving up 72.1 points per game compared to 79.2 for the Heels. SMU's averaging 3 more rebounds, and they're averaging 2 more assists per game. So, now that we've taken a look at the individual and team statistics, let's get into Russ's 3 keys to a Tar Heel victory. And key number 1 is simple, man. You gotta stop my man, Boopy. We've talked all season long about how the Carolina guards' smaller stature has hurt the Heels on the offensive and defensive sides of the floor. Well, Boopy's only 6 foot, and he's 175 pounds, which means that he's even a smaller stature guy than RJ and EC. And he's the Stangs' leading scorer and assist man, dude. So this should be one of the most even matchups that Carolina's going to see in the backcourt all year long, dude. So stop Boopy. And guess what? You will severely put a hamper to that offensive efficiency. Key number 2, gotta keep the bigs involved. Jalen Washington had one of his better games of the season, scoring 8 points. He had 6 rebounds, and he additionally contributed 5 blocks. Van Allen Lubin only had 4 points, but he was 1 for 1 from the field, 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. And please play James Brown more, Coach HD. But I will say this, it was really good to see Jay Wash be a factor in the Notre Dame game. Let's see if we can continue to get him involved offensively and defensively. And what it's really going to come down to is the dribble penetration and just getting him the assist for the easy two-handed jam like we saw a couple times in that Notre Dame game. So key number 2, keep the bigs involved. At key number 3, baby, it's the Captain Jack attack. Get used to it, okay? As was previously mentioned, Ian Jackson has been an absolute beast offensively, scoring 20-plus in 4 straight games. He's actually averaging about 25 points per game right now in his last 4. And this is his shit, bro. And I think you have to continue to let that young man cook. If UNC can salvage its tourney hopes in any way, shape, or form, it'll be on Ian Jackson's ability to shoulder the scoring load and getting decent contributions from EC, RJ, and Seth when he comes back. It's the Captain Jack attack, bro. So I'm going to continue to feed him the stinking basketball, let him stinking work, and I hope that he takes better shots more often than he takes poor shots. And that'll lead us real quick into the prediction portion of the show. Now, the ESPN matchup indicator gives the Heels a 72.3% chance of beating the Mustangs in their matchup on the 7th, which is a decent amount of confidence for a team that I think is going to be in a bunch of dogfights for the remainder of the year. Talking about the Heels, Carolina is 5-1 this year at home, and number 11 has clearly come into his own scoring-wise. The interesting thing about the Notre Dame game is that Carolina could have walked away with that thing. They could have built that lead out to 15-20, bro, and they failed to. And simultaneously, even with that being said, they stole the game away from the Irish at the end. I don't know, is that the game that the Heels can lean on to give them some confidence moving forward? Can Ian Jackson continue to dominate offensively? Can EC continue to be efficient in his assist-to-turnover ratio? And the last 2 games, he's had 11 assists to only 3 turnovers. That's almost 4-1. And can RJ be a leader on the floor as a second offensive option? I have to continue to put my personal expectations out there for this team so that you can understand where I'm coming at when I give these score predictions. And I need to remind everybody that this is not a good team. If we had, a good to bad ratio thermometer here, there's bad, not good, average, good, and great. This is an average team. All right. Now, there are some good individual pieces and possibly a great individual piece with Ian Jackson on this team that have not come together that could definitely elevate their status to a good team, which I do believe is the ceiling for this team this year. I don't believe they have the ability to be great, but they could become a good team, but we just haven't seen them reach that spot just yet, man. We're at the point as a program this year in which all you can do is focus on the next game in front of you, okay? That's what point we're at for Tar Heel Nation, man. So I'm going to give you my score prediction right here, and I have a good feeling about this one holding true in the Dean Dome. I've got SMU 78, the University of North Carolina 82. And Carolina once again wins. That's it. Nothing spectacular, nothing needle moving. They just win. Nothing to get you all hot and bothered, bro. They just win. I can't stress that enough, bro. And at this point, I'll take it. So you let me know what you think about this basketball game down in the comment section. Tar Heel Nation and Mustang Nation, bro. Is your boy onto something? Or am I sitting up there in the nosebleeds having no idea what I'm talking about? Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, dude. And we will see you on the watch party on Tuesday night, man. It's a great day to be a Tar Heel, and we'll catch you on the next one, baby.